In shape, 145.
Yeah.
In shape. You know what I mean? So this is different from a Crawford coming up to 168, but we know his walk around weight is probably 170, 180.
Tank Davis, only shortcoming, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility.
Reports suggest that Terence Crawford paid a visit to Gervonta Davis before his anticipated bout with Jake Paul, offering crucial training insight and tactical wisdom. The two champions reportedly exchanged techniques and strategies, displaying deep mutual admiration. Crawford was said to have voiced his complete support for Davis, applauding his extraordinary skill and relentless dedication. He even remarked that if Davis ever wished to challenge him in the ring, he'd welcome it, not from a place of rivalry, but out of pure respect for the art of boxing itself.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes, and, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him,
man. Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow,
man.
Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
Then what the people going to say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
Gervonta Davis appears to be drawing serious inspiration from Terence Crawford, one of boxing's most technically gifted athletes. Crawford's intense preparation for Canelo Alvarez drew attention for his constant stance shifts, perfect balance, and unpredictable rhythm. Now Tank seems to be adopting a similar approach. His latest training footage reveals him experimenting with new footwork patterns, changing angles, and even switching stances mid-combination, something rarely seen from him before. Observers believe he's not only learning from Crawford, but also taking cues from Jaron "Boots" Ennis, a master of fighting fluidly from either stance. This transformation clearly signals Tank's intent to shock the world in his upcoming clash with Jake Paul.
Right. This is scary. Gervonta Tank Davis is working on his versatility. We already know he has that ultimate equalizer, that special God-gifted one-punch knockout power. But he also can box. Gervonta Tank Davis, he's very durable, has a chin, never seen him visibly hurt. Gervonta Tank Davis also has great footwork and foot placement. And here you see Gervonta Tank Davis, only shortcoming, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox. Great switch hitters, no diddy in the sport of boxing.
Showbiz The Adult, a well-known boxing commentator, emphasized that the Tank versus Jake fight must deliver excitement. He warned that if it turns into a light sparring session where both fighters play it safe to avoid embarrassment, it could instantly ruin their careers. Fans expect fireworks, not caution. If the bout lacks real energy, it could destroy their credibility overnight. With both Jake and Tank commanding massive fan bases hungry for entertainment, this fight cannot afford to be dull. It has to be raw, thrilling, and unpredictable. Otherwise, all the hype evaporates in seconds.
Career ending. It could be career ending. Jake Paul can end his whole shit. That's the black. Tank can end Jake Paul's whole shit. And if that fight is meh, and it's just a sparring session that's tit for tat, their shit's over. Because people gonna be pissed that it's exactly what they expected it to be. They can't do that. If they do, their career's ruined. Jake Paul career's ruined, and Tank. If they make it meh and just touch, both their brands suck. That's the black two sugars. You mess around in that bell ring, and you see little Tank, and you see big Jake, and he's throwing a jab, and little Tank making a miss, and bam, and y'all gonna be like, whoa, Say I'm lying. Y'all know what? Yes, say I'm lying. Please say I'm lying. But y'all gonna be right there cheering. Because you ain't never seen nothing that damn bizarre. Even De La Hoya versus Shaq had headgear and Shaq ain't a boxer. That right there, fireworks. Because you're going to be holding your breath. Especially Tank fans. I'm going to be like, don't hit Tank. You're going to see Tank little ass legs. He's going to come. And big ass Jake, big legs and big ass head. Watch. Y'all talk all that shit now because y'all love talking shit. Y'all love hating on things until you see it. Like women back in the 90s. I remember my sisters back in the 90s. You ain't that cute. You ain't, but all on your shit. That's what y'all do. Y'all talk shit, but y'all the first ones there.
Keith Thurman shed light on an interesting truth about Gervonta Davis and his critics. He pointed out that the very people who constantly bash Tank are the ones who never miss his fights. They claim his performances disappoint, yet they watch every single one. Thurman believes this contradiction reveals how even negative attention fuels Tank's fame. Their criticism keeps his name alive in conversations, ensuring his spotlight never fades. Every insult, every doubt, they all end up amplifying his influence in the boxing world.
If you're really not happy with Tank, first off, don't watch Tank. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You support it, then what you doing? You can't not support and support at the same time, right? So if you're a boxing purist, then this fight with Roach is really more for you. It's going to be more up your alley, you know? If you just like all entertainment, all fights, all hypes, all everything, then you're going to want to tune in to the Tank and Paul show there, you know, because that's all for entertainment. What's it? For entertainment purposes only, right? It's just say like somewhere in the small print of the promotion. For entertainment, don't do this at home, kids. You know, sometimes.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. For entertainment purposes only, you know? So, it's money-making purposes only. You know, it is what it is, people.
And Claressa Shields stated that the only meaningful opponent for Tank Davis would be Shakur Stevenson. It didn't sit right with him. Tank's response was sharp and cold. No one gets to tell me what to do. His words carried a clear message. Fans should enjoy the show, not try to manage his career. The frustration stems from a deeper wound. After his draw with Lamont Roach, many of his own supporters turned on him online, labeling him overrated. That backlash clearly struck a nerve, pushing him to reclaim control. Tank's mindset now is simple. He fights for himself, not for validation.
And it says that, pretty much the only people that can beat him is Shakur Stevenson. And I don't know who else he said. He said she thought that at a point in time that Devin Haney could beat him, but now she doesn't believe that. But so really the only fight that there is for Gervonta Davis is Shakur. What a mighty, mighty convenient argument. And Gervonta Davis responded, and basically his response was, come on girl, stop talking about me so much because you're making me feel like I'm special. Right? So he pretty much just kind of blows it off. But I really think that there's something much deeper going on here, and it is that this, and I said it again, I said it in another video, I'll say it in this one, the Bud Buddies. The Bud Buddies are a crew of boxers that all hang around and worship Terence Bud Crawford. And the main two members of it, besides the people that are actually in Terence Crawford's camp, as fighters are Shakur Stevenson and Claressa Shields, without a doubt. Claressa Shields is a huge backer of Terence and a huge backer of Shakur Stevenson. At the end of the day, the only thing she really cares about is what's in the best interest of Shakur Stevenson. And anything and everything she say is angled that way to get Gervonta Davis to do something that Shakur Stevenson wants him to do, which is really do all the hard work and then be there for Shakur Stevenson to become a star at the end of it. I'm telling you, man, I believe that to the bottom of my soul, that is the same plan that Terence Crawford ran on Errol Spence Jr.
The upcoming matchup between Tank Davis and Jake Paul doesn't follow the rules of traditional boxing. Analysts argue that these kinds of events don't represent real competition. They exist somewhere between sport and spectacle. The strange part is that both fighters are still in their prime. Usually exhibition fights feature legends past their peak, like Mayweather's recent showcases. But here, both men are active, ambitious, and still climbing. That makes this event even more unusual. Blurring the boundary between a genuine boxing contest and a viral entertainment act.
It's like this, with fighters pretty much in their prime. But other than the size mismatch, most people are wondering why has Tank taken this fight? And those were the first questions targeted to Tank in this presser. Because usually these sorts of bouts are relegated to the latter part of your career. And for most Gervonta Davis supporters, they thought they would get the big fights next, the Shakurs. They didn't think he would be fighting Jake Paul. Although Tank tried to push it off as fans should just be happy watching the sport and hey, haters will be haters, I think that's quite unfair to the people who have been loyal supporters of him and honestly have paid his bills. He tried to compare the level of criticism he gets to the likes of Mayweather, but the difference is with his mentor Floyd, he really did fight a lot of champs in their prime. Has Tank? Well, not really. The most notable fight he's recently had that the people actually wanted was the Ryan Garcia fight, and the only reason he took that fight was because everything was on his terms. And other than the Ryan fight over the last couple years, it's either been people who aren't in his weight division, which he's pulling up, or fighters ranked in the lower half of the top 10 lightweight list. The fights people have truly wanted to see just have never materialized, and simply that's why people criticize him. If the likes of Crawford never fought Spence or Usyk never fought Fury or Joshua, they would have caught the same level of flack. The reason why fighters like them are applauded is because generally they take on whatever challenge is in front of them. Tank instead, his whole career has bobbed and weaved around the most significant challenges that the people actually want to see unless he has everything his way.
Another major concern surrounding this fight is the massive weight gap. Jake Paul walks around at near cruiserweight levels, while Tank Davis normally fights in the lightweight to super lightweight divisions, roughly a 60 to 70 pound difference. That's exactly what boxing's weight classes are designed to prevent. Those divisions exist to protect fighters from unfair physical mismatches. If events like this become common, what's the point of having weight classes at all, even if labeled as an exhibition? The imbalance could make the fight both risky and unjust.
Assuming there's no rehydration clause, which I don't believe there is, he'll probably weigh around 215 pounds in the ring. That means there's a sort of a 60 to 70 pound difference between the two men in the ring on Fight Night, which is absolutely enormous. There are weight classes for a reason in boxing, and this is the sort of thing that is typically not allowed or permitted. And like I said in my intro, it goes to the heart of that key question in boxing, which is how big is too big? It's the reason that the pound for pound list exists, where we kind of imagine if everybody was the same size, who's the best, who's number one? And it's a debate that rages on and on and on. And so when I see a fight like this, I think the hardcore boxing fans, generally speaking, have felt frustrated by it. Yes, because we want Gervonta Davis as part of the actual sport, competing for world titles against the other elite guys in his weight class. But also because if he gets knocked out and loses to Jake Paul, it creates this illusion that Jake Paul's much better than he actually is. And so I guess the question for me is, can Gervonta Davis beat Jake Paul, or will Jake Paul simply be too massive? Can Jake Paul use his size, or will Gervonta Davis simply be too skilled? What's the answer here? And in trying to answer this, I looked to history. And there's one fight that immediately popped out of my mind, and I thought, I wonder what the size difference was there. In fact, it may even be more significant. And it was, and the small guy won. Some of you might be thinking about it right now. It's when David Haye took on the monster, the absolutely ginormous human being, Nikolai Valuev. I think it took place around 2009. So at the time, I was literally a teenager. I didn't have a clue what I was looking at, and I'd fully bought into this David versus Goliath story. But I think it's an excellent example here to draw comparisons between the Gervonta Davis-Jake Paul fight to try and understand whether or not this is a good template and blueprint to try and predict and understand what the size difference might look like in the ring. Now, David Haye was 6'3" and was 217 pounds for the Valuev fight, whereas Valuev was 7 foot tall and weighed 316 pounds.
The outcome of Jake Paul versus Tank Davis isn't just about who's stronger, it's about what direction boxing itself will take next. If Jake wins, it could open the floodgates for more influencer versus professional matchups, shifting attention away from world titles towards social media-driven spectacles. Fans might start favoring chaos over craftsmanship, drama over discipline. But if Tank wins decisively, it could restore balance, proving that real boxing skill still trumps celebrity hype. Despite all criticism, curiosity remains sky high. Many fans find regular fights too predictable compared to Jake's wild style. His bouts bring shock, unpredictability, and controversy. Now mixed with Tank's explosiveness, it's a perfect storm. People who stopped watching boxing might return, not for glory, but for raw entertainment. Like it or not, this fight captures what modern audiences crave: intensity, chaos, and surprise.
Purists hate it, the algorithm loves it, and both will watch. It's not just who wins, it's what wins. Will the entertainment value or the ring IQ come out on top? Because if Tank dominates, the meme dies. Jake Paul survives or hits it big, we see new rules are gonna be written in real time. Me, you, maybe everyone at some point has been that bigger guy thinking that I'll just bully him. Jab, slip, liver shot, sat me down real nicely. Size helped until it didn't. All I'm saying is, let's not dismiss something because it looks weird. Many fights get decided by the details. Feet before fists, timing before muscle, discipline before clout. Look, Tank wins if he stays Tank. He's built on patience, traps, explosive counters. That's hell for a tall guy who gets eager. Jake's long jab is the gate, but Tank's head movement is the key. Once he times it, the door's getting open and the furniture is going to get rearranged. Think locksmith versus padlock. Big padlock looks scary until the right tool clicks once. Jake throws that overhand like he's bowling with the shoulder. Effective, but you don't see it.
Promoter Eddie Hearn gave one of the sharpest takes on this matchup, stating, "Boxing and entertainment are two very different worlds. Mix them, and the sport loses its soul." To him, Tank versus Jake isn't a genuine competition. It's a business venture built for views and money, not for legacy. Hearn warned that once fans start accepting these crossover fights, the purity of boxing could collapse. His opinion carries weight, as he's witnessed firsthand how fast spectacle boxing can overshadow true championship bouts.
They said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then, but I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show, it's entertainment, it's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, you know, with, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round? I don't know what it is, but, you know, I understand the market and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business.
Former champion Sean Porter offered a more personal take on Jake Paul's rise. He said most fighters agree to face Jake for financial gain, not for respect. The paychecks are too tempting to ignore. But according to Porter, Jake hasn't earned genuine admiration within boxing circles. The respect he gets is shallow, based on business, not skill. Jake's team excels at marketing him, but true recognition comes from fighting and defeating elite competitors, something money can't buy. This entire matchup reflects how boxing is evolving into a money-first industry. For Jake, it's another shot to prove he belongs among professionals. For Tank, it's a test of how far his reputation can reach beyond the sport itself. Both men are brands, but one thrives on spectacle, while the other stands on pure skill.
I like when it's all said and done and when you guys go off, they go into the next man. So if y'all can make a big payday, go get that payday. The sport of boxing don't love you. That's the problem with this sport. It's like, what Jake Paul did, man, it's crazy, but people getting paid off of it.
Yeah.
So if he can call any one of y'all out and y'all can get that payday, I say go get it, baby. I'm not mad at it.
For me, and I'm not mad at this move at all for Tank Davis, but I think when it comes to boxing fans, there's an essence that comes with this sport, and it's an essence that hasn't been lost, unlike other sports. For an example, with football, we come from the hitting days.
Yeah.
Can't hit nowadays. You know what I mean? So boxing hasn't lost its essence. You know, they're trying to make it safer and all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking like, I don't know the official one. They're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh, damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.